Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lena. This is Lena's Bookshelf, and today we are going to do a little bit of a different video. So I am going to be reacting to 1-star reviews of all of my favorite thrillers. So I got this idea because the other night I was having a book discussion on Zoom with my friend Jacqueline and some other members of her membership page. We were talking about a book that I didn't really like very much. You'll hear about it in my wrap up. How I didn't like it and I gave it a pretty bad review, but we were reading reviews of other people on Goodreads and I was just kind of like reacting to some of the really good reviews of a book that I didn't like. And I was like thinking to myself, like, did we read the same book? So I thought this would be fun to do with some of my favorite thrillers, but to do the opposite, to read the low ratings. So if y'all like this type of video, maybe we could do a video reacting to 5-star reviews of books that I hated. I have my iPad here and I'm going to pull up Goodreads and we're just gonna see where this takes us. I have a general idea of which books I want, but we're just gonna look on my Goodreads shelves and pick some thrillers and react to some of these reviews. All right, so we are going to start with Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. This is one of my favorite thrillers. I've read it at least 3 times. Okay, so here is a 1-star review from somebody named Kelly in the Book Boar. So, oh gosh, I'm already scared. So Grace is a big muckety-muck, living a jet-set lifestyle as a buyer for Harrods. That all changed when she met Jack. Jack swept Grace into a whirlwind romance, blah, blah, blah. The two of them were married in 6 months. On the eve of her wedding, everything changed for Grace because she is an effing idiot. Oh. Actually, let me back up. The remaining 300 pages consisted of more quality Lifetime television for women until finally Millie, despite having dialogue written as if she had the mentality of a toddler, came up with a fix for all of Grace's problems. Behind Closed Doors is easily the worst thing I've read in 2016. I should thank Shelby, whoever that is, for sending this to me, but I kind of feel like she April fooled me a month late. Whatever the case, I'm moving on to better things, namely porn. Is she comparing this book to porn? Okay, that was pretty harsh. Let's find another. She had a lot of feelings about that book, I can tell. Okay, that one, I'm not even gonna go into that one because that one, the guy rated it 1 star just because he DNF'd it. So how do you know it was truly a 1 star if you didn't even finish it, sir? Okay, here's another one from another Kelly in 2017. She said, unfortunately, I found this one to be just absurd. I did not connect with the characters. I did not even find a page of it to be plausible, and frankly, I'm surprised that I finished it. And so begins 2017. Whoops. I guess that was her first book of 2017. Okay, that wasn't too bad. All right, here's one from Alex. I dislike Behind Closed Doors so much that it actually hurt to read. I kept pushing myself, but I felt like I was suffocating and I wanted to throw it away. The book itself feels like one of those real story cheap movies, just that it doesn't end as quickly. How the fuck do you get on a plane to an exotic destination with that kind of man? Someone who makes you choose between himself and your sister the day after your wedding. How can you have such little respect for yourself? But there's so much that goes into why she did all of that. Are we just going to breeze through all of that? I deeply dislike Grace and Jack just as much. There isn't a character I felt for and found no reason to keep reading the book. What? Not even wanting to know the ending will make me finish it. How can you give something a 1-star review if you DNF it? These people they're missing out. When you realize where it's gonna go, that should make you want to keep reading it. Oh, this girl Sarah called it utter dreck. I don't even know what dreck means. All right, we're gonna look this up. What does dreck mean? Rubbish or trash? Let's move on to another 5-star read of mine. Let's do The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. I'm not finding any. They're all 5 and 4 stars. Ah, here we go. Rebecca, you rated it 1 star in 2018. All right, let's see. That was incredibly disappointing. I'd read all the positive reviews before deciding to get this book and really looking forward to a twisty, ghosty thriller. Instead, it was mediocre writing, flat characters, constant eye-rolling, inducing info dumping with Holocaust plot twist thrown in for good measure. I also didn't believe this took place in New England or that the author has done more than a brief visit. It didn't feel genuine at all. It's one of those times where you realize world building isn't just for fantasy and sci-fi. I'm curious to see how this book is received once it comes out later. I'm not sure that this girl read this book. This doesn't seem to match at all. When somebody commented, I agree, talk about bait and switch. Honey, you must have read a different book. Are you sure? Are you sure you got the right book? All right, let's find another. It's kind of hard to find since it's such a good book and everybody rated it so high. Oh, if you just click on the star rating, it filters it. All right, Lucius. Let's see what Lucius has to say. Lucius says, this book is shit. B wrote this review 3 years ago. I can't take this anymore. DNF'd halfway through. If you're gonna write a ghost story, write a goddamn ghost story, not a flat, sad story about a girl playing detective with her journalistic skills. She is a journalist. That's literally her job. Why would you put that in parentheses? The characters are dull and boring. The writing was flat. The overall story is just interesting. Just not interesting. Sorry. I was like, what? I was bored from the start, but tried to plug along, but I'm just done. Okay, so you didn't even finish. Again, why are people giving 1-star reviews to a book that they didn't finish? Because oftentimes an ending can make or break a story. I have had 3-star books that go to a 5-star because of the ending, because it was that good. I feel like if you DNF a book, you shouldn't get to rate it 1 star. Oh, this woman rated it 1.5. The illogical ending bumped it down from a 2. It's definitely a thriller and a page-turner, though there are some issues. Why does this book suddenly turn into an erotic romance novel every time the main character meets her boyfriend? Isn't that what you're supposed to do with your boyfriend? Also, why is the author weirdly obsessed with specifying very specific details about what a character is wearing when it has no bearing on anything? Why must we be constantly reminded of how pretty certain characters are? Because it has a purpose with the plot. These things are annoying, but not full-on deal breakers, just weird. The plot became engaging and I was interested to see how things would develop, but the final resolution was unsatisfactory because it broke the rules of the world. Okay, number 1, sex sells. So, number 2, I don't think there's any wrong with putting a little bit of adult relationship in a thriller. But then also, Simone St. James has paranormal aspects to her thrillers, so you don't really have to play by the rules when there's paranormal aspects involved. Laura said, what a snore fest. I can't keep wasting time on this. So she probably DNF'd it. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about giving a 1-star review to something that you never even finished. Let me know, because maybe I'm in the minority. Maybe this is just me not understanding. I don't know. Ooh, The Silent Patient. I feel like this is going to have some good 1-star reviews because that ending, I feel like that ending could create some controversy. All right, Louise. Louise rated it 1 star. Oh, that review is, that's too long. I'm not reading all of that. Okay. Oh my goodness, another super long one. Y'all have too much time on your hands. This guy's review just says, not silent enough. All right, Jade rated it 1 star a year ago and said, I can't even give this half a star. Absolute worst read of 2020 award. This is melodramatic, superficial, and ridiculous. I'm abandoning it 14%. Absolutely wretched. Sorry, folks. I know many of you really liked this one. 14%. Come on. These essay reviews are like too much for me. This girl said, I almost never write reviews, but this book definitely deserves a brief one. It sucked from the beginning to the end and has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. Had it been called The Silent Author and been filled with blank pages, I would have given it 2 stars. Jana just said fart noise. Some men can't write women for the life of them. That I will agree with. I will agree with that from time to time. Bland characters, bland writing, limited dumb plot. The twist is okay, I guess. I don't see why this is the hyped up thriller of the month, aside from really good marketing budget. I'm gonna forget about it. Okay, let's move on. Ooh, The Perfect Daughter by DJ Palmer. This one only has a 3.88 rating on Goodreads. All right, so this one is from 2021, May of 2021. And it says, I don't want to read any book that any of these reviewers gave more than 1 star to this book. That doesn't make sense. DJ Palmer, you suck, and this might be the worst ending of any book I've ever read in my life. My family heard me yelling, disgraceful, from my deck and were like, what? And I said, don't even. Worst book ever. Can I give 0 stars? That's a little dramatic. Michelle said, so bad, so very, very bad. The way Palmer was trying to feed us the backstory and information about DID, it was super awkward and annoying. See, I felt like the way he approached DID was very informative. Amanda rated it 1 star because she would love to have rated it a 0. No idea why people love it. It was atrocious and boring, and the characters, all of them, were incredibly unlikable. But unlikable doesn't mean it's a bad book. I've read plenty of books that have unlikable characters that I've ended up rating pretty high. Becky says the only reason it gets 1 star is because DJ Palmer put in the time and effort to actually write a book, which is super impressive. I wish I could say the same for the book itself. I found the entire story overall convoluted, and it had completely unnecessary side story. Aside from that, I have no problem with books that change perspective and narrators on different chapters. However, normally the reader is told with a header, but that wasn't included, so the reader has to figure out who is talking. But I feel like you can't really do that because it's literally about dissociative identity disorder. So there's so many personalities. So do you need a header on every page when the identity changes? I don't know. There's not that many characters in the book, and you're introduced to the personalities pretty early on. Do yourself a favor and move on down the aisle at the library to the next thriller. That makes me sad. I completely disagree with all of that. All right, let's do one more book. Wrote, 41 literary agents rejected this book, and now I know why. Newman writes with a particular parochial gaze that confines the characters and plot into a one-dimensional space where everything is predictable. Final verdict, mediocre, and the author needs writing lessons. That's a little harsh. All right, Bob wrote that Falling is one of the worst books I've read in 60 years of being an avid reader. I'm very aggravated with myself for being taken in by all the publication hype for Falling. I let the praise from some respected authors outweigh my hesitancy about reading it, stemming from the fact that 41 consecutive previous literary agents rejected it. Why is everybody bringing that up? Poor TJ. By the time I got to the last 50 or 60 pages, I found myself skimming through them in order to get to the only real exciting part of the book, which was the end. And if the bad reasons aren't enough for you, while I can't cite specifics about the political motivations for the bad guy's actions without providing spoilers, I'll say they were unoriginal and preachy. But I felt like it left such a good message. Here's somebody else who DNF'd. He said, could not finish, could not start. Book is relegated to the purgatory shelf. Somebody said, what a mess. The 41 agents who passed on this book were right. People are really stuck on this whole 41 agents thing. Okay, well that was fun. Obviously, everybody reads books for different purposes. Everybody rates books, different things for different reasons. And I don't hold any hard feelings for anybody who didn't like the books that I like. I just thought this was fun to react and to hear other people's thoughts that are polar opposite of mine. Let me know if any of the books that I talked about are some of your favorites, or if you gave them 1 star and wrote a really bad review on Goodreads like these. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.